Hey guys, I'm Peyton with H&S Motorsports. Thank you for joining us for the product spotlight we're having on the dual fuel kit available for the 6.7 liter Powerstroke diesel. This kit is currently compatible with the 2011 to 2013 model year trucks. So what we're going to do today is just go over the components you'll receive in the kit, as well as some basic functionality, what the kit does to help you decide whether or not you need it for your particular vehicle. All right, we'll start right down here at the bottom. This is obviously just a sticker included with the kit. Up next, we've got some full color installation instructions. Read through these and make sure you feel comfortable installing the kit. If you don't, or maybe you feel like you don't have the right tools, then find someone that does. Where you're dealing with extremely high pressure diesel injection system, you want to make sure that everything is installed properly, otherwise you risk not only damaging the truck, but maybe hurting somebody. So keep that in mind when you're reading through the installation instructions. Up next, we've got some just rubber 3/8 fuel line. This is used to supply low pressure fuel to the CP3 pump, as well as take care of the return back from the CP3 pump. So that's what the rubber line is for. Up next, we've got this is a stainless steel high pressure injection line. This takes the high pressure fuel from the CP3 and directs it to the passenger side fuel rail. This we'll see in this application upwards of 30,000 PSI. So that's a lot of pressure running through this thing. As an installation side note, typically after the truck has gone through a couple heat cycles, it's a good idea to go back and check these nuts, make sure they're still tight. If you're experiencing any kind of leakage, drippage, check that first. That's a common place where it's a new line. It takes usually 1 or 2 heat cycles and making sure they're tight before it's seated properly, so keep that in mind. Up next is obviously a new belt, where the new CP3 is belt driven. We've got to supply a belt where the belt routing has changed and the length of the belt has changed, so got to have a new belt. Up next is obviously the CP3 pulley itself. This is the blue anodized version. We also offer the red anodized and the raw aluminum versions. They're all the same price. We just figured we'd offer that option to the customer. If they want to personalize their engine bay a little bit, they have that option to do so. So I think the blue is the best looking one by far. Up next, this is the main support bracket for the CP3 pump itself. It's actually a 3/8 thick plate, extremely durable. This, along with the mounting hardware, eliminates any kind of vibration or movement of the CP3 pump to make sure that there's no belt slippage or anything like that going on. So this is extremely durable. It's actually powder coated, a wrinkled black texture. So this is a really durable piece. Up next, we've got just a really basic wiring harness. So all this does is go from your factory CP4 pump fuel control actuator, and it goes up to the CP3 fuel control actuator. So that's what's really cool about this kit, is that's the extent of the wiring. That's all you have to worry about. Up next, we've just got the big baggie of hardware. This has all the nuts, bolts, spacers, washers, fittings, clamps, zip ties. Everything you'll need to complete the installation is included in here. So make sure you go through this little baggie and make sure you've got everything you need to before even attempting to install it. Obviously, we do our best to quality control and keep everything that we should in here, so make sure you've got everything. Up next, we've got these are fittings that we supply for this. This is a fuel filter block. So this actually goes in the place where your factory fuel filter would sit. And these fittings here allow you to tee into the low pressure fuel system without actually having to use a nasty tee per se. So it's a nice looking unit. Obviously, it's a raw aluminum finish, machined aluminum finish. Allows you to tee into the low pressure fuel system without using other means. So These are the retains the factory push lock style fittings, so that your factory fuel lines will still just clamp right on there with no problem. This is just a little rubber insulator we send to go around the filter itself that helps it seal tight in the factory fuel filter location. So that's what that little boot is for, if you're wondering. Last but not least, we've got the CP3 pump itself. This is actually a brand new unit from Bosch. We don't do anything remanufactured or anything like that. It's a brand new unit. This is what you would find on a 6.7 liter Cummins. So that's what that bad boy is right there. We also offer the kit minus the CP3 pump for those individuals that might have a 6.7 liter Cummins CP3 sitting around, or they want to use a modified 6.7 liter Cummins CP3 from another company, which we have no issues with. So be sure to check out the kit without the pump if you've already got a CP3 pump. So one of the most common questions we get is, how much horsepower is this kit going to add to my truck? And that's a hard question to answer, because if nothing else changes on the truck, you know, the tune is the same, the injectors are the same, if everything stays the same aside from the dual fuel pump kit, then horsepower shouldn't change, assuming your factory injection pump is able to maintain rail pressure. All this kit allows you to do is maintain your desired rail pressure at higher fueling demands, whether that be with bigger injectors or a bigger tune, which means more duration on the main injection. Another common question we get is, well, how long is it going to take me or my mechanic to install this kit? And our general response for that is anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on the tools you've got and the mechanical ability of the person doing the installation. So that's a pretty broad range, but that being said, as you can see from the components, it's a very simple kit, especially the wiring aspect. You know, you don't have to worry about plugging in a box or, you know, doing any external wiring of that sort. So the plug and play wiring harness is definitely a time saver on the installation side of things. So what controls the CP3? The supplied wiring harness, in conjunction with a custom calibration for any H&S performance tuning device, is actually what controls the additional fuel pump. A lot of you probably recognize the truck behind me. This is the 2011 6.7 liter Powerstroke that was used in H&S Performance's Breaking Point 1. This truck is obviously equipped with one of our dual fuel pump kits, and it made 881 horsepower at the rear wheels before the factory transmission started to slip. So at that 881 horsepower, the guys at H&S Performance saw no drop in rail pressure during that run with the dual fuel pump kit. So that kind of gives you an idea of the potential that this kit has. Right now, the retail price on this kit is $28.99. The kit minus the CP3 is $20.99. So thank you for joining us for this H&S Motorsports Product Spotlight.